What is your thoughts about California sober? Now, I have positive and negatives about this, and at this, I'm gonna share a little bit of like what my thoughts are about it. So, if anyone is struggling with like hard stuff and like they go into California sober, I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily at all because if you can partake into some like let's say the odd puff here or the odd drink here and there, but you have control over it where like you can have it like take it or leave it basically, then I think that's not a bad idea. But like if it comes to a point where like you got to have it every day after work or like it becomes every weekend and like every time like you're kind of making up excuses to partake in that, then I would say I would highly recommend to stay away from that and be clean and sober 100%. But at the same time, everyone's journey is a little bit different, so I totally understand. Some people's DOC was hard stuff, and then they just partake in like, the odd puff here and there or the odd drink here and there, which is not a bad thing, right? As long as you know to keep it under control. Now, the biggest challenge with California sober is that people get it mixed up as like, okay, like I got like 2 years of sobriety and what have you. You know what? Like, and my DOC was like, let's say, for example, alcohol, but now I got 2 years sobriety and like I have a lot of self-care, a lot of self like love and all that. I think I'm gonna just have the odd drink here and there. Now, if your DOC was that, I would highly recommend not to go back to the thing that caused you all that mayhem, as basically playing the role of insanity. Doing the same thing, expecting different results. It will never ever change. And that's the biggest thing where I think people get mixed up with California sober and like if they can partake in that. So like the biggest challenge is if your DOC is something, never go back and thinking like, hey, it's going to be different. It will never ever be different. This is why one of my relapses happened, because I was like, you know what? I got 2 years of sobriety or 1 year of sobriety. And I was like, you know what? I can have the odd drink here and there with my friends and what have you. And you know what? It brought me back to my knees basically, and it didn't happen overnight. Like, it took some time. Like, it was like, having the odd drink after work and then the odd drink on the weekends or what have you, and then it became full-blown going back to old cycles. So that's why I say California is super touchy, and certain people and certain people's journeys is always know like what's best for you, and also work with how you can handle it. And like if your DOC was hard stuff and you have the odd like puff here and there and it's like once a month or what have you, and like you can take it or leave it, then I would say that's probably not a bad idea if that's what works best for you. But the biggest challenge is to make sure that you never ever go back to the same DOC, because if you go back to the same DOC thinking that you're gonna have different or like expect different results, you never ever will. That is basically like the whole game, and especially when I had 2 years of clean sobriety, that was what tricked me to go back into old patterns, because I'm like, hey, you know what? I got 2 years clean sober. I worked on myself. And guess what? I had my relapse. And I guarantee you, if you are doing that type of stuff, just don't listen to anyone that says that they're doing it, because just give them a couple months, and guess what? They will return to old patterns. It is a given, especially if you're going back and partaking into the DOC that you were struggling with. It always happens, and that's basically the devil playing mind games, because it's like, oh, I did all this work, I can handle it. No, you can't. It'll just take time, and you will eventually fall down and have to redo all that hard work. But if your things was like on the hard stuff and then you partake in like the odd drinking here and there, I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing. As long as you know how to handle that situation and make sure that the DOC does not match with that DOC that you're partaking if you are in California sobriety. Now, what is your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think it's a yay or a nay? And yeah, let me know, and much love, and I can't wait to hear from you, and much love, everyone. I'll catch you guys on next.